Hello there, welcome back to U4. The new expansion has actually dropped, the Eldorado expansion. Basically, it means that you can now, well, I'm a little bit unsure what it means for the area in itself. I haven't actually checked that much out. But the thing that's actually got me more hyped about this whole expansion isn't really the fact that Eldorado, the goal of city, etc. for colonists and also playing in America. It's the fact that you can now, as you can in create your dynasty in Crusader Kings, you can now create your own nation. I can start a custom nation, I can create a random nation, or not create, pick a random nation. So what I'm actually going to do here, I think, is going to do something rather funny. I was testing around, just playing around with the settings a little bit, and I figured out that you could actually, create a random nation of your choice. You have your idea sets, you can basically cherry pick whatever you feel like from a hard limit of 200 points, and funnily enough, I managed to actually fire up an Iron Man game, and of course, for some weird reason, I seem to have a Roman Empire set up in my channel in terms of Crusader Kings, etc. So I thought it would be funny to just start an Iron Man game as Roma and create the Roman Empire. I thought that would be hilarious to start as an OPM Roman Empire, one province minor, not overpowered, and basically work from there. Of course, I'll set up an emblem with or rather, I'll just go through with this and I'll set up the empire and, explain that later. But you pick your nation name, you pick your nation adjective, basically the Roman Empire's war for whatever. You can pick your map color, basically color of your nation, your emblem, your background, your flag color, basically if you want to have a singular background or if you want to have a square, some stripes, etc. So it's basically very free in terms of how you want to do it. If I pick a random flag, for instance, you can see that you can get some pretty interesting results with that. Now, next off is the government. You can pick if your ruler will be male or female. You can pick name, you can pick dynasty, you can pick age, and age modifier doesn't actually do anything for you, as you can see at the points used. As you can see, total province tax, so some total province manpower. Due to the fact that I've picked Roma, there are some limits to how powerful my nation can be. As you can see, if I add certain provinces, then the points use goes up. And it could be argued that it's hilariously stupid to build a big nation because of the fact you need to pick your ideas. And as you can see, you can pick all the ideas you get from basically picking idea sets. For instance, if I want to be very much a conqueror, I could go idea cost, just up that to 20%. But as you can see, it gets more expensive the more, well, ideas I have in the same category. I could also go diplomatic, take aggressive expansion impact, put that to 20. Now remember, these two aren't the ideas that I will spawn with, or start with, no matter what happens, so that could be good. But instead of idea, you'd probably want to go for something like core creation and max that out. Suddenly I have -20 to both aggressive expansion and core creation cost, and boom, we are ready to party. And that will probably be my start in the Roman Empire game. Probably not historic, but it's basically just I can grow without anything to worry about. And also, since I can actually cherry pick my nation, I could potentially start in this area here, start wherever I want. As you know, I could start in the British Isles, and basically then go for world conquest. That could also be hilarious to do as Roman Empire, a lessened Roman Empire from my, save, of course, but it could still be fun, especially if I can add the core creation cost modifier, the aggressive expansion modifier, and as you can see, I have religious unity, stability cost, technology cost, tolerance of faith. There's a lot of useful things that you can now use to, as I said, cherry pick your nation. Diplomats, settler increase. Basically, if you want to be a colonist, you can. Basically, you can be a one province colonist if you want to. That's the funny part about this. If I wanted, for instance, I could just smack a colonist in there. Or for instance, I could even smack 2 colonists in there, starting with 2 colonists. But as you can see, that is incredibly expensive. It's only 265 points, so that's not really expected. And of course, then I could just smack in some settlers, and boom, you suddenly have now 20 settlers. Now, as you can see, I'm not allowed to start, even though it's still up. But you can only imagine what you can actually create here. You can create military monsters. You can create diplomatic monsters, you can create anything you want to. And the funny thing is, what I mean with you can create a diplomatic monster is basically the fact that I could max out my, as you can see, diplomatic. It costs 3 points no matter how much you go up on this, and 20-year ruler 666 can actually be created, and you can get some free points here by actually just going for air, putting the air all set to 0, and then just maximize age, which is 60. The air will probably die before you, and that's you have a really good starting point. Of course, culture-wise, you can choose everything. Unfortunately, I was messing around trying to look, but I couldn't find Roman culture, so I think I'll just go for Lombard. It's probably the best, or Umbrian. I'll have to consider just Lombard because of, well, these guys, but Umbrian should probably work as well. And as you can see, if I don't want a province, I can just do this, for instance. But Rome is my capital, so I can't get rid of that one, unfortunately. I can choose religion. Again, a very big list here. Buddhist, Confucian. Unfortunately, you don't have the other ones, so I think I'll go with Orthodox there. And I'll probably join the whole Roman Empire just to get myself in a better position in terms of waging wars. And I'll not be going for the whole Roman Empire itself. I'll dismantle it from within, just for fun. I can choose my government type. Due to the fact that the Empire actually costs 30, I think I'm just going to skip that. It's just too expensive to go for 30 points to begin with. I can go with Western map graphics. But I have a feeling that this is actually... I have no idea how this actually works, but... No, map graphics, sorry. This is probably the map that you already know, so if I didn't want to know anything, I could, for instance, go... well, North American. I only see North America in my own. I'm a little bit unsure, I haven't actually tested that, but of course, technology group, I can earn 50 by going North American, having to re-westernize. It's not really worth it, to be perfectly honest. But again, you do have that choice. You have the choice to get 30 points extra to put into whatever you want here, and that could of course be really, really interesting. But yeah, that is basically how you create your nation. I'll just go down here so you can see what happens when the nation is created. Press done, boom. I can select and modify. Select, and then I can just choose to play. And as you can see here, I can start the game in Ironman mode. I have no idea if I can get any achievements. I'll have to look that up. But it seems like it could be a really interesting premise to start as Rome. Of course, if you guys would prefer another game, just tell me so. I'll try and have a video up tomorrow. I'm sorry about basically being away for a week, 5 days. I'll explain that in my video, my weekly or 3 weeks now update. That will be probably released before, or half an hour before, half an hour after this video. So tell me what you think. I think it's a pretty cool expansion, and it's definitely going to breathe some new life into the game for me, because now I can cherry pick whatever I want. I could actually be an island nation here, for instance. I could be a Western Potiguara, for instance, and just colonize the hell out of America. I can make a lot of fun with this. It could also be a powerhouse anywhere on the map, even. Just imagine a Western player starting in India, a Western player starting in Ming, and a Western player starting in America, South, North, basically having to duke it out. It could be hilariously fun for multiplayer if it works in multiplayer. I haven't actually checked that yet, but I could just imagine how the players could just duke it out with weaker neighbors, etc. So it could be really interesting. But yeah, that's how I feel about this. I haven't actually checked out what El Dorado expansion for, well, the natives mean, but I'll probably figure something about that out soon enough. And again, hope you are as stoked about creating your own nation as I am. I'll see you next time. Bye.